Exactly how much does all of this cost? I'm about to add up everything in my FPV drone bag so that you can see how much a pro level setup like this costs, and you can have a look at the gear I'm using along the way. Before we add it all up, have a quick guess how much you think all of this gear costs. Let me know the figure in the comments if you want, and stay tuned to the end so we can find out how close you were. To give you an idea, I asked my missus how much she thought all of it was worth. I just said, look, everything in my bag, when I'm ready to go out, it's on my back. How much does that bag cost? She said 1,500 quid. All of the prices are going to be in pounds because I'm in the UK, but £1 is kind of nearly equal to $1, and it's kind of similar to €1, so it translates pretty easily. But I'll also put it on the screen when we get the final figure so you can see how much it is in dollars, euros and pounds. So let's start adding this up. First with the drone. So we'll start on the outside and work in and just do this quickly. I've got the Ethix S4 props. They're about 3 quid for 4. I'm using the Emax Eco motors. They're pretty cheap motors, only 35 quid for all 4 motors. The frame that I'm using is the Gep RC Mark IV HD. That's 45 quid. And then inside the frame we've got the electronics, which is the HobbyWing G3 Stack. That costs 70 quid. And then I've got Crossfire in here. So I've got the Crossfire receiver, which is 25 quid. And I've got the Immortal T Antenna. That's a £5. So 30 quid for the Crossfire stuff. And then we've got the DJI Air unit, which is 175 quid. The only other things on there is the Ethix straps, which are a £5 for 4, so say 250 because I've got 2 on here. And the 3D print for the GoPro, which is about a tenner. It adds up to about 370 quid. And just a quick note about these prices, I'm going off UK prices. If I just Google Gep RC Mark IV frame, I'll go with whatever comes up. For example, in the UK we get Hobby RC. Those are just my local hobby shops, and I've taken sort of like an average price. And it's if you buy it today. So some of this gear I might have bought like 2 years ago and I might have paid a lot more for it, but I'm just going to tell you the price that it costs today. I've got 2 of those. I've also got one on the side of the bag here, and they're basically identical. So times that by 2 and it's 741 quid for the 2 drones. On top of these drones, I've got GoPros, right? We can't forget that. Usually there's a GoPro 7 here, but it's just recording down here. I'm using it to record this. So that GoPro Hero 7 costs 237 quid. And then I've got a Hero Session 5 on this. Hard to get hold of now, but if you can get hold of one, it's about 120 quid. Those are the GoPros. I've also got a third GoPro, which is the GoPro Hero 6. That's inside my bag. So let's open up the bag and have a look at that. And the Hero 6, you can't really get hold of anymore because it's a bit of an old camera. Weirdly, it costs more now than a Hero 7 because it's hard to get hold of. So there's the Hero 6. That costs 245 quid if you buy it today. So let's add that onto the price as well. Now we've also got the radio. Okay, so I use this Taranis X9D, which I've had for absolutely ages now. Still running the stock gimbals and they're still going well. I've got this ratchety sort of noise. I don't care. They work, they feel good to me. It's what I'm used to. Probably should upgrade those gimbals at some point. The Taranis costs 165 quid if you buy that today, and I've done a few mods on it. Like I've got the Crossfire module in the back, which costs 60 quid. I've got the Diamond Antenna, which costs 20 or 30 quid I think, and I've got this little Boss Cam watch on the front. All I'm using it for now is to watch my friends who fly analog, but I used to use it to do ride-alongs for myself, but I'm not flying analog anymore. Anyway, that costs 30 quid. So that's the radio setup. These are my goggles, and they're the DJI FPV goggles. I'm flying in HD now, absolutely loving it. I've got a video about that if you're interested. But if you buy these from a UK shop today, they cost about 525 quid. I did get them on a deal, but like I say, I'm just going to tell you the prices if you bought them today from a local shop. 525 quid. But I also upgraded the strap. This, look at this, I've got my logo on this, pretty pleased with this. Got the Magic FPV logo on there. Got that strap from a company called Fatstraps over in America. So yeah, I'd recommend that strap, it's really good. And I also changed the foam. Foam cost 20 quid, bought it direct from DJI. 20 quid for some foam. I mean, that's including delivery, but you have to pay that, don't you? So those are the goggles. Then we've got the batteries. So let's open up the battery bag. Got quite a few batteries in here. These are the packs that I'm using. These are Tattoo R-Line 95C 6S packs, and they cost about 24 quid each. I've got 8 of those. This is foam that I put on the batteries to stop them getting damaged. I've also got 4 of these 4S batteries, which I use for my Cinewhoop, but they also power the DJI goggles, so they're absolutely essential. And I've got 4 of those Tattoo 850 mAh batteries. Just the last couple of things in the bag, which are of course props. We've got the Ethix prop bag, which costs I think 9 quid or something like that. It's really good actually for keeping your props well organised. And I've got a bunch of spare props, probably about 10 sets of props in there. So that's about 30 quid. Other things in my bag, I've got paracord, only a tenner, highly recommend it. Got a video all about paracord and why you need it. And just a few little bits and bobs like electrical tape and that kind of thing. So that is everything in my bag. This means if I did my maths correctly, the total value of my bag as it is on my back when I leave the house to go and fly is 2,625 quid, which I was pretty surprised by. It was nearly double what I thought. So that's pretty interesting. And of course that doesn't include any tools like the soldering iron, which I haven't got in there at the moment, but I've got a TS100, a bunch of other tools, and of course you're going to need a charger. So if you add a couple of hundred quid for some tools and a charger, total value is about 2,841 quid. Quite a lot, but in perspective, if you bought a DJI drone off the shelf, like a DJI Mavic or something like that, they're pretty expensive. For the Pro version, I think they're over £1,000. Buy a mountain bike, you know, if you get into mountain biking, I'm guessing like 5-10 grand for a good bike. So in perspective, it's maybe not that much, but you know, you could do it cheaper. If you're interested in doing this cheaper, I've got a video actually for beginners which is explaining kind of a system of getting into FPV pretty cheap. I've bought all this gear as I go along, change things, and it's constantly updating and upgrading and adding things and tinkering around. And that's how it is in FPV. So I've never actually added up everything in my backpack, and I found it really interesting to find out that final figure. It was definitely more than I expected. I hope you found it interesting as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.